So, hello everybody. We are now live for the Power of Will, okay, to your successful time management. And I'm here with Pavla Bělostíková. Hello, Pavla.
Hey, how are you? Happy to be
I'm very
here.
fine. And how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. I would like, as I could not see anybody online, which is quite surprising, if anybody can send us a message that he or she can see us, it would be great to get to know. Besides it, today we are here to speak about the power of will. So what's your experience with the power of will so far, Pavla?
I have a good experience. Ever since I started to study about willpower, I think I have gained more willpower than I used to have. So I love the topic.
Oh, okay. Actually, I have to admit today I have struggled with willpower to stay calm for the whole day because, frankly, uh, it was a little bit stressful day for the information I was given from my family and stuff. But besides it, I really look forward uh, to be here today and speak about the power of will. I just want to say a little bit, wait a little bit for people to be able uh, uh, connect to the to this live stream. And of course, we also welcome those uh, who are seeing us in the recording. And I think that's fine. And so,
I'm checking if anybody. Can
okay.
you see him? Because I don't
Yeah,
see a piece
I have
of it
checked and
here.
everything's fine. So
Okay.
people are going to see us. It's just I can't see any comments. That's the only thing. Okay, so the power of will. First of all, I would like to present us a little bit. So my name is Petra Suvakova, and I'm an aviation enthusiast and aviation mindset coach, preventing burnout and fatigue for pilots. The whole story starts at my age of 16 when I was entering a gliding airport. And since that time, I have never stopped to visit the sky and fly. In 2017, I went to Santiago. It's a pilgrimage to Spain. And actually, it was how my self-development journey started. So I started to work on myself and how to behave and stuff. And actually, a year later, I got a burnout as a result of high expectation for my work. And I have to put more effort to my self-development even more, and I go more deeply into it. And in 2022, I start to work as a pilot sales manager for one of the biggest European flight school. And here I was all the time in contact with pilots, and this gave me a lot of insights. I talk with them a lot, and I start to give them advice how to do something and stuff. And I have noticed that a lot of pilots were struggling with time management and some kind of mindset obstacles in order to achieve their dreams. So that's how I became an aviation mindset coach, and because of my burnout in 2017, which I have overcome I get to know that I would like to help people in order to not suffer from it, actually. And that's why I established my brand Petra Air, where I'm gathering together a great team of coaches and consultants in order to prevent burnout and fatigue for pilots. The mission is to preventing more than 10,000 pilots worldwide against the pressure of airlines or when they are under training, to keep their clarity and when they are flying. And in January 2024, a 12-week program will take place, and we can talk about it a little bit later. Now I would like to give a word to Pavla in order to present her great work and education.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here. Um, okay, so my name is Pavla Bělostíková, and I have a master degree in human decision science, which is about the psychology of decision making. That means how we humans make decisions and how we are biased or not very rational as we think we are. And I studied in Maastricht, in a beautiful city in the Netherlands. I loved the university there. I have done some courses as well in positive psychology, resilience, and also courses about happiness. I'm very passionate about this topic. I have always been, probably. And I focused on self control and willpower. This was my master thesis that we then um, expanded, and we were able to publish in current psychology journal. So as you can see, I love self-control. I love willpower topic. It's my passion, not just academically and professionally, but also in my own life. And
I
I'm
have
international coach, so I am a certified coach, and I have been working as a coach for the last eight years. Yeah, and I work one on one, and sometimes I hold these webinars or some courses. I work in English, Czech, Portuguese, and Spanish is possible as well, and German if you need to. Currently, I'm living in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. It's very hot here right now, so you have winter, but we have summer, almost summer. So it's like 32, 34 degrees outside. It's very hot. But I'm still happy to be here. Okay, so let's begin. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah, I would like to ask you, what's the willpower?
Yeah, a lot of people think, well, what is willpower? Now we all hear about it, but what is it actually? So, willpower is our capacity to resist undesirable impulses and manage our emotions, our behaviors, and that's to pursue our long term goals. So let's say my long term goal is to help other people to do this webinar, and my self control, my willpower helps me to do so. So instead of running outside or going to the beach, it's a beautiful day. It must be excellent at the beach. I'm here because I have willpower to follow my dreams and my passions and my long-term goals. So instead of the desire right now to just jump in a swimming pool, probably. So this is willpower. And the interesting thing about willpower that not many people might realize is that, well, willpower is not unlimited. It's limited, and we have kind of a limited source of willpower, that as we use this willpower, for example during the day, it gets depleted. So you can imagine it like this battery here. So I have a fully charged battery, And then when I use my willpower to, I don't know, to send my
For
kids to
example,
school.
if you are working hard,
I'm sorry?
if you're working hard, for example, you have a difficult task and you focused on this task, you're using your willpower.
Yeah, for example, yeah. Whenever you need a willpower, you start to deplete this willpower. So I wake up in the morning, maybe after a good sleep, because sleep is one of the things that recharges our battery, let's say. But then as the day goes by, I go to the office, there's a traffic jam, so I use my willpower to control myself and not get angry at everybody else. Then I am at the office and then I have to talk to my boss. I have to talk to other people. There are a lot of problems, so I need to control my emotions to stay equilibrated. Some people are on a diet, so they go to have lunch and they refuse the dessert because they want to lose some weight. So again, they lose the willpower, and then the source that we have, it decreases. Of course, during the day we can also, with some activities, we can recharge this battery. But well, it will decrease probably during the day. It can be recharged with some activities. The point is it gets depleted. It's not an unlimited source that we would have all the time. There has been done a research, one of the most famous one maybe, um, from Baumeister, the scientist Baumeister and his team in 1998, that proves that ego depletion exists. And it goes like this. Uh, there were people who were sitting in front of tables, and there were cookies and radishes. And well, I forgot to tell you that they divided the participants in three groups. So in the first group, they were sitting in front of the table. There were these delicious cookies, and they smelled so good. But this group was not allowed to eat these cookies. They were allowed to eat the radishes. They had to eat the radishes. So they needed to use their willpower to overcome this temptation to eat all the cookies that they were in front of them. So this was the radish condition. Then there was the second group, which was the chocolate condition. The same scenario, people were sitting in front of the tables with cookies and radishes, but this time they were allowed to eat the cookies if they wanted to. So they didn't need to use their willpower at all. They can eat all the cookies they wanted. And of course, there was a third group, which is on the control condition. There was no food, so there was nothing. There was no task like this. So that was the first part of the experiment. After this, there was another task, and it was unsolvable. So all these groups, these three groups, they had to try to solve this task. There was no solution, of course, they didn't know. And then scientists, they measured how much time they were able to spend on this task. So like you have to use your willpower to continue, right? You're not getting any solution, so you need the willpower to continue. So they measured the time people spent with this task, trying to solve it. And what were the results? Is that the radish condition, that means the people who had to eat the radishes and they were not allowed to eat the chocolate cookies. So they used in the first part of the experiment their willpower. Their willpower depleted and they didn't spend as much time on the unsolvable task as people in the other groups. Because why? Because the willpower was depleted in the first task. So they used the willpower and they didn't have much anymore, not as much as the other groups, that they did not use the willpower at all. So this shows that yes, if you need your willpower doing some tasks, after that you will not have that much willpower as before. So it gets depleted.
Mm-hmm. So, with regards to this experiment, you were basically speaking about that there were people who have much more energy and willpower to go through some task, and some people who has less power. And even though in the daily life we can mention that there are people who are more kind of lazy and just want to watch TV and don't want to bother much, for example, with self-development and things like that. And then we can see a really high, like, motivated people. So for what reason is it? Why there is difference between those people?
Yes, we all have different levels, or well, let's put it this way. The size of the capacity of our willpower might be different. So I
Mm-hmm.
say we have a different inborn and formed willpower capacity. So some individuals, they are actually born with bigger capacity for this willpower. So they have stronger willpower. They are born this way. This is one percentage of this. But of course, some individuals, they form the willpower capacity. And so these two factors, they influence how much willpower we have. And we are all different. So I put here the picture of the cell phone, because some cell phones, they have a different capacity of the battery. Some of them, they have a bigger capacity and they last longer, and some of them, they have smaller capacity and they last a short time. So just like us, no, we have this capacity for our willpower, and some of us, they have a bigger one, and some of us have a smaller one. But you don't have to be upset. Oh, I was born with a low willpower. No, you can still strengthen your willpower. You can still increase this capacity. And today we are actually talking about willpower and time management. And this slide is represent the first step that you should do when you want to include willpower in your planning, let's say. And this is the first step is to become aware of your own willpower and how much willpower you have and how much willpower you need for certain tasks. We are all different. So I invite you to, as a first step, to observe yourself without any judgment. Okay, so nothing like, oh, I'm a lazy person, or I should have resisted, but I didn't. Well, everyone around me has a lot of willpower and I don't. No judgment. I'm just observing myself. I'm getting to know myself. So try to observe during the day, for example. When during the day do you have the most willpower? Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Is it after lunch? Is it after a nap? Try to observe it. You can use a scale. This helps from 0 to 10 during the day. Like how much willpower I have right now when I wake up. 0 is nothing, and 10 is like a lot of willpower. I can resist any temptation that comes. And you can make notes like, okay, I wake up in the morning and I have 8 maybe. And then I go to work and I have before lunch, maybe decreases. I would be by 5. And then I have lunch and I have a rest a little bit and then increases again. I get to 7 again. So it's very individual, right? So this is the first thing. And then observe also the tasks that you have during the day, during the week in your life, things that you have to do or you want to do, how much willpower you need. So imagine that I need to do something, some task, some report that I don't want to do, or I have to study. You know, your clients, they have to study for tests because they are still going through some trainings. So I have to study for the test. So what is the willpower I will need to study? Maybe from 0 to 10. Okay, I would say maybe 8 because it's not a subject that I particularly like. But if it's a subject that I like and it's fun, I would say maybe 4. I don't need that much willpower because it's fun for me. It's not something that I have to push myself to do. So we are all different. And so So you can write it down if you want to, or you can just observe. So this is the first step before we even start to use the knowledge of willpower in our planning, the planning of our time. So what
Okay.
about you?
Well, I'm a general person. Like my willpower is the most strongest in the morning, and actually
Uh-huh.
this is like how I manage my time. I put all my most difficult task in the morning. But anyway, with regards to the planning, I would like to ask you how we can incorporate this knowledge about the willpower in our planning,
Mm-hmm.
time planning.
Very good. Uh-huh. Very good question. How we can use this knowledge and to plan our time more efficiently. Um, there was one more thing that I wanted to mention. Some people, they have more willpower because they know how to work with this willpower. They know how to allocate it. They know how to use it efficiently. So this is what we need to do. Now we need to plan our time efficiently according to the willpower that we have and that we need. And first thing that it's important to realize, and a lot of people actually don't, even though they think they do, our willpower is not made of steel. So we are not a Superman or a Supergirl. We don't have unlimited willpower. Our willpower is not made of steel. So we need to plan accordingly. A lot of people, they plan their time thinking that they are Superman or Supergirl. They have a lot of power, a lot of willpower, a lot of energy, all these things. And then they don't stick to the plan. And then they get disappointed, of course. The problem is not that they don't have enough willpower. The problem is that they believe that their willpower is made of steel and they are not aware of the fact that the willpower is limited. Once we realize that we are just humans, we are able to plan our tasks accordingly, so we can find the best time for the task that we need to do, and so on. So I divide these tasks in two groups. So there are tasks that we have flexibility to do. So we can choose the time, we can choose the day, we can choose a month, whatever. We are flexible. So there are things we need to do, want to do. We can say when. So when this happens, the first question that you can ask yourself is, how much willpower will I need for this task? And we can use again the scale from 0 to 10. So I have to study, as I said, I have to study for an exam that in a subject that I don't like that much. So I will need maybe 8. And then the second question that I ask myself is, when I have this willpower. So I need 8, right? To have this willpower to do it. So I can, as we first observe ourselves and I know how my willpower works, I can put this task in my plan, in my schedule, accordingly to the willpower. So okay, I know that for me the best time is to study in the morning. When I wake up, I have a lot of willpower, so I just study. I know that in the evening it doesn't really work for me because my willpower is on 2 and I need 8. So this is not the best time. I probably, if I put this in my calendar, I will need to push myself a lot. I might procrastinate. I might lose a lot of time. It might not be as effective.
Actually, this is reminds me a lot of clients when they are trying to work like 14, 15 hours a day sometimes. Of course, they are not pilots because pilots have a limited schedule. But anyway, it's like when you are trying to really finish something because you are settled that you want to finish that a certain task and it's not working. It's really hard and it's funny. But actually, the easiest decision is to get some sleep and relax with friends, and then go back to this task and do it again. And actually, it reminds me another question, Pavla. When sometimes, when people are not working on their SEM, even though everybody has certain deadlines, what to do if you know you have a certain deadlines and you have to really finish a difficult task? How to cope with the situation when you have a really deadline to finish your difficult task?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it. That's the second group that I was coming to. So I don't have flexibility. So I have to do certain tasks at certain time because somebody told me to, or because this is the only time I have. So there are some questions I should ask myself. First of all, how can I get more willpower before the task? Can I include something? It can be 10 minutes, right? Sometimes 10 minutes nap can help, or 10 minutes walk, or a snack. It can be something small. I don't have to plan an hour to recharge my willpower battery, but I can plan something small. Sometimes even 5 minutes can make the difference. The second question I can ask myself is, how can I motivate myself? So, well, I will have a task that's 8 and I will have just 2 of willpower, but I can motivate myself to kind of like stretch the willpower, now to be able to push myself to reach this gap, because the motivation can do it. It can like force you to do things. And some of the things that might be done and are efficient is, you can be part of a group of people that study for the same exam, or they have the same goal. A lot of people who want to lose weight, they create groups and that they share their goals and achievements, and this helps us to keep our promises. We make a promise to somebody, and we are social animals. We want to be
Keep
reliable.
our promises.
I'm sorry?
That we want to keep our promises.
Yeah, exactly. We want to be likable. We in general, we want other people to trust us and believe us. We don't want to feel ashamed, right? So if you promise to this group of people that have the same goals, you're more likely to do it. Even though you have no willpower at all, there is this motivation that like pushes you to do it. And the third question that you can ask yourself is, how can I trick myself to do it? So I can find something that works for me to do something, or not to do something as well. No? Because sometimes the willpower is not about doing something, sometimes it's to avoid some temptations that we have. So, for example, now Christmas is coming, a lot of sweet, a lot of chocolates. So, how do I trick myself so that I don't eat that much? So I think the other day you told me I can put on my plate just a few pieces, and or you cannot you don't need to have all the chocolates at home, right? This is the best trick ever. If you don't have any chocolates, you don't eat them. Then Ariely, the professor, he says that, for example, people who love buying, they have this urge to buy a lot of things. They can freeze their credit card to trick themselves. So if they have this urge to buy something and they don't have enough willpower to resist this, they first need to take this piece of ice where there's the credit card inside. They have to take it from the freezer and they have to wait for 2 3 hours because you cannot put it in the microwave. So they have to wait until this ice melts, and they have these 3 hours to calm down, to let the willpower recover. Because we have in our brain, we have the prefrontal cortex, where there's the seat of willpower, and this prefrontal cortex is a little bit slower than the amygdala, that's like the urges and impulses that we have. So you have these 3 hours to rethink, to calm down, to recharge your battery, to let the willpower take over again, and remind yourself of the long-term goals. So find some tricks that would.
Yeah, I can think this is a really good trick, which my boyfriend use very often with Facebook, because we all want to be on Facebook and social media sometimes. And what he does is that he has blocked this page on his computer. So once
Mhm.
he want to, and then basically it's the same techniques. It's to make obstacles in order to get what you are attempting to. And
Mhm.
yeah, once he writes to, like Facebook, but it's off. So then he managed to, like, okay, I don't need to. And actually, it does help a lot to decrease his time on social media. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely,
That's
and
excellent. Yeah.
um if actually, now with Christmas time, with the knowledge you have said to us, that we have a certain battery, and actually uh, we can we can increase it by relaxation, but actually sometimes it's really stressful and there is a lot of task, and sometimes we are really, like, lazy, more than motivated. How is it possible to strengthen the will?
Yeah. So, as I have already said, we can strengthen our willpower. Some scientists they like to compare willpower to a muscle. So the more you use it, the more tired it gets. So then it loses the strength. Nah? But on the other hand, we can also strengthen this willpower muscle. It's the same as when you go to the gym. Um, you need a certain training, right? You cannot
Yes.
just get to the gym and start to lift 100 kilograms to the air, and it's impossible. If you put too much weight, you will you will destroy yourself basically, and then you will now never go to the gym again. So it will not be really productive. But when you go to the gym and you start with lighter weight, and you build it up, now you increase slowly, you can strengthen your muscles, and you can have more power. And the willpower works the same way. So I need to include in my life some activities that they kind of like stretch my willpower a little bit, but not too much. So I won't go for, okay, now I will need, I don't know, 20, 50 willpower. No, I will go for like 2 or 3. Um, I will give you some examples. They did some experiments with students, and they divided them in groups. And one group started to save some money. One group started to do some exercises. Another one started to focus more on regular studying. And for some time, they did it. They went for a run 3 times a week. I don't remember exactly, but they started to do the exercise regularly, or they started to study. And they found out that actually this worked as a willpower training. They increased their willpower in this area, but they increased their willpower in other areas as well. So those students that focused on exercise, to exercise more, they started to save more money, they started to study more, they started to wash their dishes immediately instead of leaving them for a week. Um, so you should include some small things in your life that would stretch your willpower a little bit and stick to it. So if you don't do exercise, you can start to go for a run twice a week, or you can do some small things like if you brush your teeth with your right hand, you can start to do it with your left, because you will see that you will need the willpower, because we have this automatic behavior, right? And when it's an automatic behavior or a habit, we don't need any willpower at all. So just start to use your left hand. You will need the willpower to think. You will need to think about it. You will need the willpower to take the toothbrush with your left hand. To brush your teeth is not so easy, right? So you will need some willpower to stick to it. You will want to give up because it's not easy. I tried. So you will stretch your willpower a little bit.
I have to admit, I we were speaking about it before, and I tried this to wash my teeth with left hand,
You
and
did.
yeah, I did. It's kind of like 4 days, 5 days. I'm doing this, and what reminds me is actually the method about the willpower. Because yeah, sometimes it's demanding because it's nighttime. It's before I'm going to bed, so my willpower is decreased, and it seems easy. But I always start with the right hand, like, no, Petra, you have to put your left hand and things like that. And anyway, what I wanted to mention with regards to cleaning your teeth is that when you clean your teeth 2 minutes and once in a month, it will definitely not make much difference. But if we are keeping to clean our teeth 2 times for 2 minutes every single day, actually it does work, and we all knew that we have a certain results. So in my mind, it's very important to work on a daily basis with those tasks. Am I right?
Yes, yeah, that's an excellent point. Exactly. In the experiment I was talking about the students, it was a program that lasted like 8 weeks probably, or 3 months maybe, and to start to see the results. It wasn't from one day to the other. So it's
Okay.
a great metaphor that you gave.
Yeah. I use it when I wanted to go. The things that you mentioned, that you start with the slow steps. When I firstly start to go on a walk before I start to work, I sometimes, because the weather is not every day very nice. Not every day is a sunny day. And what I did, that when I really don't want to go for a walk, we all are human. I simply go for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
like a short period of time. And then slowly by time, I start to increase the time when I'm walking. And actually, it significantly helped to keep me doing this. And of course, not if I screwed up, because sometimes you just, for circumstances, you don't, your willpower is too decreased.
Mhm.
Uh, I just the next day woke up and go again. It's nice habit to not give up.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I can see that we are nearly out of time. So for those who were so nice to watch us online, and also for those who are going to see our recordings, what are the main things a person should remember from this webinar in order to be able to incorporate it in their daily life and routine?
Mhm. Yeah, I put together 3 points that I think if you start to do this, you will be able to increase your willpower and you will be able to use it efficiently and plan accordingly. So, first of all, be aware of the fact that the willpower is limited. And when you forget, just remind yourself again, I'm no Superman, I'm no Supergirl. My will is not made of steel. It gets depleted. We forget, so just remind yourself. Second is the willpower self awareness. Start to pay attention to yourself, to your willpower, how much willpower you have, how much willpower you will need for certain tasks that you need to do, that you want to do. You can use the scale, as I told you. Do it for a couple of weeks to increase this awareness. And the third one, start considering the willpower when you plan your time. So that's what we talk about. How much willpower will I need? When will I have this willpower? How can I increase my willpower before I start this task? How can I motivate myself, because I know that I will not have enough willpower to do the task? Or how can I trick myself? This is the self-awareness here is important, without any judgment. Because as you said, your boyfriend, he observed himself without any judgment. He wasn't angry that he spends a lot of time on social media, blaming himself. No, he observed that he doesn't have enough willpower to avoid the social media. He observed that without any judgment. And because he observed that, he was able to create some tricks for himself to change his behavior in a positive way. So don't judge yourself. Just observe what things draw your will, take all of your willpower, or you don't have enough willpower to deal with certain things or certain temptations.
Yeah, I would like to also emphasize what we were speaking during our presentation, that if you have really difficult task, most likely you have the more willpower in the morning. So with difficult tasks, it's really good to do them in the morning when you have enough willpower. And so does even when you have really important tasks you have to, and you have deadline the same day. It's nice to start in the morning with these prioritize, because if you didn't calculate your time well, because it's a new task, it's a not routine task, you still have a whole day in order to proceed, and don't miss, and thus you can avoid to work till 10 or midnight or something like that, when you start in the afternoon and you notice that you need more time to manage your task. So I would like to be very grateful to Pavla for all the information you have provided us for today. I do expect it was really interesting also for the people who are watching us right now or will watch the recording. And now I would like to know more about, if the people who are looking for this video would like to get to know more information about other techniques, such relaxation techniques, and healthy self-confidence and time management, because today we were speaking about the certain part of it, to prevent the burnout and fatigue. I will be happy if you get a call with me, and we can see together if the pilot's first aid kit is the right program for you. It's a program for 12 weeks. It's divided into 3 blocks, and every block has 4 weeks. And the first block is relaxation techniques, including the sleeping, because it's, as you mentioned, it's very important to everything. And another block is time management for 4 weeks as well. And the last thing is self confidence, like healthy one. So after this, I will put a link to my calendar in the events comments, and you can schedule a meeting with me, and I will be happy to speak with you more about those things. And now we do have also a time for questions, but I'm not sure if anybody is able to send us any question, most probably in the comments of this event, so we can answer them. But as I will wait a minute if you can see any comments here. But if not, I think that's everything from us for today. Is there anything you would like to also mention with regards to the willpower and time management, Pavla, besides the summer we had?
Mhm.
Any tips?
No, we have covered it all.
Okay, so we also have a special gift. We mentioned it will be for those who were live today with us, but as there are more things in order to see you all, and who was online, who was offline. I would like to kindly ask those who would like to get more tips with regards to how to increase your willpower, to send a private message, and we will be gladly to send you a document with more tips with regards to how to exercise the power of will. Thank you very much once again, Pavla. It was a pleasure to have you here and to be able to
I'm
speak
happy. I'm
about
happy
this
to.
interesting
Thank
topic.
you. Thank you for
Yeah,
your invitation. It was lovely. Thank you so much.
thank you. And to all of you, bye bye. Have a
Bye.
nice evening.